Hey guys, thanks for tuning in to watch this video. Today we're going to be taking this chef's knife right here, and we're going to be taking that out. Put over when I'm done. Just make sure that the edge. By the roll. We're going to have to reprofile this blade. So for right now, I could just draw right on the piece of steel, or I could draw the silhouette on a piece of paper with a pencil and then play around and get it just right. And that's the next step. I'll show you how it turned out whenever I'm done.
And here you have it, the new profile drawn on the paper behind the chip. You can see the chip. I got that by tracing the actual shape of the knife, cut it out, and set the new shape on the actual knife and draw with red marker to get the red marker on the areas of the knife that I need to grind off. Of course, the lines aren't going to be perfect, but I can do all the adjusting I want to on the grinder to get it just like I want it.
Alright, so this is a belt I dedicate to wood, and if you use your metal on your wood belts for wood, they're going to burn up your wood and not cut them very well. So I'm going to save that from my wood and get something else. Yeah, that's what I want. Yeah. Alright, looks like we have a 40 grit belt that's been used but has plenty of life on it here. And that's what we're going to use. So let's get to grinding. So that's 40 grit. It's pretty rough stuff, but it does a good job of grinding through a lot of metal fast. But now that we're getting close, we're going to go down to the 80 grit to get it closer to where we want it to be. All right, I lied. We'll do 120. That's what I got, and it'll be fine. Take a little longer, but it'll go through fast enough for sure. Here we go. Alright guys, I hope you can see this here. I'm looking at the profile of the blade and it looks nice. I still got a little bit more to get rid of in this trouble area, and I want it to be a little more flat right in the heel so that if you go chop, 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 it connects all the way across and will cut the entirety of whatever is in that area. Alright, let's get back to grinding. Well, that took all of 5 seconds, and now it's good. But one thing I have to do is this fat area, it's the integral. Gonna have to round it off because I've ground it a little bit flat right here. Because part of the thing you want to do is grind it back a little to get it out of the way of your sharpening, because it's gonna be a pain in the butt when you go to sharpen. This edge, I don't know if you can tell, it's a bit thick right in here, but I'm gonna have to thin it out a little bit. I'm gonna have to grind the sides down, and then I'm gonna have to refine it, move it up grits. And I'll tell you, I'm not great on the belt giving it a good finish. I'll always end up having to use my Scotch-Brite belts to blend it in and make it look decent. So that's the plan. Let's get to it. So I put it like this, but when I come up to the belt, I'm pushing first right here. I'm trying to get it fairly flat, but I'm making sure that it touches right here, just barely before it rests flat against. And then I'm keeping my fingers towards the top and trying to keep pressure all along this area here, because that's where I want to thin it out. I want to get this line so that it's almost sharp, and then I'll sharpen it, and it'll be a lot easier to sharpen, and it'll slice a lot better because of the thin blade geometry. And you know what else? Don't wear gloves when you do this. It's important that you feel the temperature, because you can over temper your blade, especially in the thin part on the edge. It'll happen real fast, and you'll know it happened because it'll turn blue or straw. So you want to avoid that if you can. All right, back to work. And one more thing, the tip will overheat the fastest. If you overheat that tip, then you're going to have to grind that overheated part off and reshape this area so that it looks right. And then you could end up with a 4-inch chef's knife by the time you're done if you're not careful. All right, back to work. So I did change belts one more time. This is a 180 grit. I would have done 220, but I can't find a suitable 220 grit belt. I guess I need to buy a few more belts. Not really sure that it took all the scratches out, but even the 120 grit scratches looked about the same as the way the knife came. So by the time I use the Scotch-Brite belts, I think it's going to look great. The next step is going to be using the Scotch-Brite belts just to clean up and even out the finish. All right, so I've got coarse, medium, and fine. We're going to start out with fine and see what that looks like. What do you think? Looks like a new knife. That area right here got cleaned up pretty nicely with the Scotch-Brite belt. Hard to zoom in on that. A few minor scratches still there. Not too bad. Alright, got the spine cleaned up, because when we grind those edges we put a hard sharp line along here, so we took that off with that Scotch-Brite and gave it a nice look with that. Kind of frosted. It's great. I like the way it turned out. The finish came out very good. We were able to profile this knife to a good usable shape that functions well with a nice little flat section here and then curving through here. After that it was very thick, so we thinned out the edges and got it nice and thin all the way along, so when we sharpen it, it should have good performance. Alright, well, that's it for this video. Next video, we're sharpening it. Stay tuned. Thanks a lot. Say hi to Mommy.
Hey, Mommy. I went in my secret lair with Baby behind the bushes.
Is that true, baby?
Yeah.
All right.